Welcome to the Cheaters Podcast, Flaming Hot, where cheaters are exposed and now everybody knows. I am Irma Ruiz, the only podcast host who has ever escaped from the MK Ultra program. I'm lying, but so do all these cheaters. Let's do this, TJ!
Hyperactive animation, elevated figure, got my finger pressed against the dawn. Sentimental beggar, elevating desecration, throwing stones I stood before the...
All right, guys, like I said, my name is Irma Ruiz, and I am here with Miss DeEtta. How are you doing, Miss DeEtta? Thank you for coming on to our podcast today. I'm super excited to have you here. This is our very first episode, and I actually put a little post out there. I'm like, who wants to tell their stories? Who has healed from being cheated on? And Miss DeEtta responded, so we are here with DeEtta. What happened with you, DeEtta? Tell us about this cheating mother freaker. Who was he? Ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend, ex-husband?
Yeah, so it was my ex-husband. It was it's a kind of a long story, but I'm gonna try to break it down. So
give us every little detail from the beginning. When did you start suspecting it? We want to know everything, because you know what? This podcast is not only for us to get rid of this energy, this negative energy that we have for this person, but also, I mean, it's really not negative energy. What we are healed now. So now we can talk about it. I want other people to be able to hear our experiences. And then if they see something that happened with you, they'll be like, hey, my husband's doing that too. Yeah. So tell us, give us all the details.
So the major flag I missed. So at this point, we had been together for about 11 years. I really never looked at his stuff. I never thought about anything, you know what I mean? And then one day, as I'm walking past the bathroom, I remember his phone was on the sink and it made a bing. And you know, when you hear the noise, you look, right? So I heard the noise and I looked, and a name came across the screen, a female name. And, which he was working, with the National Guard at the time. So, and a lot of the people that messaged him was like Sergeant so-and-so, Private so-and-so. This was just her name. So,
and that's interesting, because I hear that a lot of guys who are cheating, they'll put like a guy's name. Yeah. You know what I mean? He is so dumb.
Yeah, right.
Well, he can't even cheat right.
Well, and I don't know for sure that he cheated with her, but I asked him, I was like, hey, who's so-and-so? And he was like, oh, that's just one of the privates that I work with. And I was like, okay. I was like, I just thought it was weird.
What was her name? Miss Private Parts Hannah?
I was like, I just thought it was weird that you had her saved like without her rank or whatever, like you normally do. And it was like, all right. So at that time, he was going to Baton Rouge during the week. That's where he was doing his COVID orders. And he would come home on the weekends. I was like, all right, I let it go. He came home the next weekend, and I always say my chicken nuggets are tingling. You know what I mean?
Like, you wanna,
like, no. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Surf Up.
What does it mean?
It's a cartoon, and in the cartoon, there's a chicken, and he's looking for his lost friend, and he's like, I think he's this way. I can feel it. My chicken nuggets are tingling.
Oh, so that just meant you missed him.
Like, my spidey sense.
But your spidey sense.
So, but instead of saying my spidey sense was tingling, I always say my chicken nuggets were tingling. So, the next weekend, he comes home, and, of course, I'm going to look now because...
You're suspicious.
I was suspicious. And I hadn't looked in this man's checked for anything in at least 6 years. Like, worry-free. 100% trusted him. Well, I look, and there's no text. There's no messages whatsoever between him and this chick.
And that even makes it more suspicious.
So I go on the phone bill and look. And the text all week.
So how long ago was this? Because you're talking phone bill. 'Cause I have a story about the phone bill too.
Well, no,
was this like in the early 2000s?
This was in 2000. No, this was in 2020.
Oh wow. Okay.
I logged in online.
Oh, okay, got it.
I didn't get it in the mail. I logged in online.
I got mine in the mail. I'll let y'all know a little bit later.
I logged in online to look, and I asked him about it, and he was like, "Oh, you know," he said he accidentally deleted it or whatever. And I called my best friend, and I was like, "Am I tripping right now?" And and this is what she said. So this is how blind
was her name Ava?
No.
Just kidding.
Right? This is how blind everyone was.
Mm-hmm.
So she was like, normally she was like, I would say no. She was like, but it's him. Like, he's a good guy. Like, he's, you know, so whatever. We washed it under the bridge. Okay, let's move on. Right? But, so he ends up getting on with the New Orleans Police Department. And I had just opened my spa in Alexandria, which are on different sides of Louisiana. Mm-hmm. So I was like, all right, well, you just get an apartment over there. Me and the kids will stay over here. And then when my lease is up for my spa, I'll move my business to New Orleans.
Is this dad?
Huh?
Is this dad to the kids?
Well, so we had
stepdad?
There were 6 kids.
Oh, wow.
3 were mine, 3 were his.
Wow.
So I raised 6 kids.
Y'all were a blended family.
Yeah.
But let me make this clear. You're a blended family. You have 3 of your own kids. Mm-hmm. He has 3 of his own. Mm-hmm. You're in one city in Louisiana, and he's in another city in Louisiana. But you're taking care of your kids and his kids.
Yes.
Oh,
all the
kids.
Wow.
Wow. 6 altogether.
Yes.
Super mom right there.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah. So biological mom was never in the picture for his. So I was the only mom they ever had. They ever knew. Mm-hmm. So then October, he starts the police academy. Mm-hmm. And then by November, we're having marital issues all of a sudden. And I'm talking about we didn't fight all the time. Like, we still, like, would sit out all night and talk under the stars. Yeah. Like, so I'm like, what
So what do you mean? Like, what kind of marital issues? Like, you just felt him distant? Or?
Like, just arguing, and then he's talking about separating, and I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
So, and then he tells me, well, you know, you and the kids move to New Orleans, and then we can work on our marriage. Because clearly, it's hard to work on a marriage when you're on different sides of the state.
Of course.
So I closed my business. Wow. Packed up all the kids and moved to New Orleans, where we moved into a place and he still kept his separate apartment. And then I get there and it's I'm too busy.
I don't understand. So you moved, you having your 3 kids and having his 3 kids, a total of 6 children. You moved to where he was living in Louisiana, New Orleans, you said, right? Mm-hmm. He was in the police department. He lived in his own apartment and you moved to another house with the kids and he did not move in with you guys?
No, he didn't.
And you closed your business down to get closer to dad.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now, to be fair, of the 6, there was only 5 in the house. My oldest was already an adult. Mm-hmm. She actually deployed to Syria. This crap with him started. He started this crap within a week of her deploying to Syria. Wow. Which I was already distraught about. Mm-hmm. So I moved to New Orleans. And we even had started marriage counseling. The counselor wanted us to go on dates, and he was like, oh, I don't want to do that right now. I'm too busy. I just got to get through the academy. I'm too busy. Okay, fine.
In my opinion, and y'all tell me this, audience members, if you're already like in a marriage and you've been going on for, you said 11 years.
Yeah, we've been
and
together.
it was the same thing for me. The whole marriage counseling thing, come on. After 11 years, I think marriage counseling should probably be a requirement, like a prerequisite before you even get married.
Well, we never had issues up until this
point.
Well,
no, but that's what I'm saying. No, you don't. The thing is, I think marriage counseling should either you go through the church or through the city or whatever. You know, you should have maybe not marriage counseling, but marriage classes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Before you actually get married, because if you have to go to marriage just to prevent things, you know what I mean? Because like my sister and her husband, even before they got married, they were older, they were more mature. Mm-hmm. They realized, okay, we're going through this, and you know there are going to be times where we're going to argue, right. You know,
yeah.
And how do we deal with? So they actually went to counseling to kind of just in case this happens, or we're arguing about this. What do we have? You know, difference of opinion about raising children. They were so perfect. They're like the perfect little family.
Well,
you know?
and that's what's wild about, like, whenever I called my mom and told her that we were separating, my mom literally laughed in my face.
And she says she knew.
And no. And then I was like,
she didn't believe
I
you.
was like, no, Mom, I'm not joking. She was like, what? My best friend was like, well, if y'all can't make it, there's no hope for anyone because y'all are perfect. Like, everyone thought we were the couple that everyone looked at as like an ideal thing. And we were up until, so he was always in the oil field in our relationship. But then he got into the police academy and this 26-year-old started showing him attention. What pisses me off about it more than anything is the fact that he let me close my business down.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, absolutely.
And move across state knowing goddamn good and well he was already fucking someone else.
Yeah.
So.
But you know what? He probably thought once she gets here, I'm gonna stop with this, whoever it is. I mean, you still didn't know yet. But obviously we know that's where it's going. He honestly probably thought that, but he couldn't control his freaking wiener. That's what happened.
I'm going to honestly tell you what I think was happening. I think he was trying to keep me on the back burner while he figured out if it was going to work out with her.
And that's horrible.
Yeah.
No, there's no way. Do you think
Because I told him after I got to New Orleans, I was there for 3 months and I was in living hell. I had to take medicine to sleep. I had to take medicine I went to sleep crying. I woke up crying. I was in a living hell. And I told him on multiple...
And you didn't know why. And that's the worst thing.
I told him on multiple occasions, I was like, listen, if you are done with me, please just tell me and end it. Just rip the Band-Aid off so I can move on. I don't know. I'm just busy right now. I don't know. I'm just busy right now.
You're not living at home.
So
but the thing is, you were so in love that literally, what like they say, love is blind.
But not only that too, I knew that if that marriage ended, I would lose those 3 kids that I had been raising for over a decade.
Wow.
So,
it wasn't so much you're trying to hold on to the marriage. You're trying to hold on.
It was that,
to the
but
family.
also the family. Like I fought with everything I had, and so then eventually we got to because he would hardly come see the kids even. Wow. So eventually we made an arrangement on the weekends he would come pick up the kids. But
y'all were not separated.
Well, I mean, so whenever he told me, blah, 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 move here and we'll work on our marriage, we weren't separated.
Right.
But after being there for a while, and I'm like, you're not doing anything. Like, we're not working on our marriage. This isn't going anywhere. You know, and then he's like, well, for now, we'll just, I'll get the kids on the weekends. And when I graduate the academy, we'll see what happens. So, but he had weekend drill. And he, so he had a weekend drill. Kids stayed home. The next weekend, he's like, oh, the guard called me. They need me this weekend.
When he was supposed to come for the kids.
Yeah. So I decided that...
He was taking advantage of you. I knew that his children were safe with you and that you loved them.
Yeah.
Wow.
I decided to go and look at the bank at the bank account. And he had charges in New York. And I was
when he was supposed to be...
in Louisiana at drill. So I hacked into his Facebook. And I already knew the girl. I went straight to her Facebook account because it was on private. I couldn't see it from mine. And there's a selfie of him and her in fucking New York.
Wow. She knew about you, huh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's why.
Yeah, she knew about me. She knew about me.
Wow.
And then, ironically, so that was on Saturday. On Monday, I had a U-Haul there, and I was packing. And because I'm out. Like, I'm out. I'm not. Once I've confirmed, I'm not a bench player.
Good.
So once I confirmed that, no, I got the U-Haul, and as I'm loading up, one of his classmates in the academy made a fake Instagram account and messaged me, hey, do you know this is going on with so-and-so and so? Like, isn't this your husband? Like, and I was like, yeah, I recently found out. So, yeah.
So with that, like with the guy telling you, like if you knew like somebody at work was cheating, would you want to reach out? Because that's happened to me before. When I was single, when I was a single mom, I started dating this guy, and it had been a long time that I had been married, so I didn't understand the game. You know what I mean? And so I would message him. He wouldn't message me back. He was always messaging me like from the bathroom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And eventually somebody from my old town tells me, he's dating this girl. And they've been dating like for 6 years or something. So I get her phone number and I call her and I'm like, hey, you know, I've been dating this guy. Are you dating? She's like, yes, he's my boyfriend. Like we practically live together. And then she just told me, just mind your own business. Stay away from him. That's what she told me.
Adios.
You know what I mean? And I was just like, and I felt stupid. I was like, I should have just kept my mouth shut. I shouldn't have said anything. And I told her, I was like, I feel so dumb. Like you don't even, like what's up? And she's like, how do you think I feel? Like my kids, they call him dad, you know, and all this and that, you know. And I'm the one who has to be embarrassed. And I'm like, oh yeah, you know what? So if I ever see that people are cheating or whatever, that's why. It's because of that one lady. I just keep my mouth shut.
I tell everybody, and I tell everybody I'm a fucking snitch. I'm snitching on you.
Yeah.
I'm snitching on you. In September, we went to Galveston and Houston to celebrate one of my friend's birthdays. While we were there that weekend, a dude found us at the beach. He ended up taking us out to dinner and to the bar and all this shit, right? Well, once he got drunk, he slipped up that he was married. Well, I went and found his Facebook. I found his wife and I messaged her and I sent her screenshots and receipts and everything. And I don't care. She can be mad at me and in the end, whatever, project, I don't give a shit because if it was
you
me.
You did what you wanted.
If it was me, I would want to be told.
And you know what? And
I'm fucking, so all the guys that come in my DMs, I tell them, I'll fucking snitch on you. Don't think I won't. I do.
Good.
I'm a snitch.
And you know, and then I was also that wife that I had so many people telling me, and I just never believed it. I never believed it, like from the beginning of my marriage.
Yeah, see, and mine was nobody was like, no, he would never do that to you. Like, they were, you know, we had so many people fooled. He had so many people fooled.
So then what ended up happening? Like, what was like the final? So you saw them online.
On Facebook. Yeah.
You know, and so what did you do after that? You were packing up, and then it was confirmed by one of his classmates. What happened? What did he say when he got back?
Oh, he didn't say shit. Even that weekend while he was there, I messaged him and I was like, you lied about getting your kids so you could go off with that girl? I was like, you're such a fucking piece of shit.
How nice of a word, right, TJ? That girl? Now, you know what you want to say. You're just doing it for, so we don't get tagged. We don't get,
So, and I'm not, and that's the one thing, like, you know, I always tell people because, like, people like to use the word slut and hoe for girls that are promiscuous. I never use that for that. But I think a female that knows a man's in a relationship and still fucking engages with him is a fucking slut.
And then not only that, but knows. She had to have known.
Oh,
she should have just told him, if you want to be with me, break it off with her.
Right.
Do not. I mean, for you to like close down your business.
Right.
That is horrible.
Right.
The cheating is one thing, but what happened was he could have just said, you know what? He could have left you heartbroken, but at least you would have had your business.
Right.
What did you lose? You lost those 3 babies.
Yeah.
You lost your kids. You lost the guy. And you lost your business.
Yeah, I walked away from that marriage with no business, no money, and no vehicle even.
Wow.
Like,
just the U-Haul that you took everything.
Yeah. Exactly.
Wow.
So now, because my daughter was deployed to Syria at the time, I was able to use her car. So, but it still wasn't my car.
Right.
Like I walked away from that with, I lost everything but my biological kids, you know, in that.
But you still have your red hair.
Oh, well.
And that makes you hot. Cheeto hot.
Thanks, Irma. But the thing about me is you can't fucking hold me down. So
Good.
you see that was we're in 2025 now. And
oh yeah, and you're totally healed. You're totally healed. So now are you dating now or like you're single, right?
Yeah, I'm single.
You're single. You can find her on OnlyFans.
Right?
Cheeto red hair. Is that your real hair color?
Yeah.
I knew it.
Yeah.
You know how I can tell? Because your eyes are so light blue. Wow.
Yeah.
So everybody wants to know DeEtta, giving her friend, she's so single. And her kids are grown, so you don't have to change diapers or anything. Yeah. We'll put her in if you want. We can put her in. I'm just
no.
I'm not trying to
I got enough issues.
I'm not trying to be her madam. You know.
Yeah.
Okay, the whole reason why I started this podcast, there's always these moms thinking, oh, my husband's cheating on me. You know, I caught him doing this, or I saw him looking at a girl, you know. Like, I see all these red flags, especially with younger women, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, red flag, ding, red flag, ding, 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 ding. And I was like, I need a podcast. And I want women who have already gone through this, who are already over it, but they still have the story within them. And I want to share it with people so that other people can see it and be like, oh, whoa, wait, that's kind of happening to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so if there's anybody out there that has a story, if you're interested in coming onto the podcast, please message me, because I'm actually a comedian. I do comedy too. Message us at mindtwistcomedy.com, and it should be you'll have the mindtwistcomedy@gmail.com, and they'll put that on the screen for us. So if anybody's interested, or maybe you don't even want to come on the podcast, but maybe you think like your spouse or your boyfriend or your fiance might be cheating on you, send me a little email. I'll read it, and we'll let everybody we'll break it down, and we'll see. We'll see, because I'm gonna tell you what, when it happened to me, I was in complete denial. Again, you said 11 years for me too.
At the very least, at least let her look better than me. My ex cheated me with I told you the friend that made the fake account. They were messaging me on Instagram, and they were like, "Oh, and don't let those filters fool you. You're so much prettier than her." I'm like, you can't even fucking cheat on me with someone that looks better. I used to be 305 pounds.
Wait, when you were with him, you were 305 pounds?
Yes. And then I lost all the weight and started a business, and that's when he cheated on me.
You know what? And that's something else that I want. Oh, he cheated on you after you lost the weight?
Yes, after I lost all the weight.
You know what? I see that. There was this friend of mine. We used to work together. I'm not gonna say where. I've only worked at 3 places in my life. No, but really. So she was like a real big girl, super sweet, super beautiful. Her husband was a fucking asshole, dude, an asshole. And they were like Christians, and they would go to church. And she got bariatric surgery. She lost all this weight. Next thing you know, boom, boom, he's just cheating with everybody. And then I guess guys, like, for some reason, when they see like they have like a woman that's maybe not so attractive or whatever, you know, because they're bigger, not right. Well, you know, yeah. And they feel like they're like the king of the world, but then once their woman starts to like look pretty or something, and maybe they're not cheating. And this woman would have never cheated on him. Oh, yeah, I would have never cheated on him. But for some reason, they start feeling a little bit insecure.
You know what my husband, you know what he told me? What? He said, "Do you know how intimidating it is to be with a woman like you?" And I was like, what the fuck does that mean? I was like, no, because what? I worship the ground you walk on. How am I intimidating to you? And then he goes, do you know how intimidating it is to be with a woman that doesn't need you? And I was like, no, because I want someone that wants me. What the fuck are we talking about here? No, and then he said, don't get me wrong. I love that, like, you're getting your independence and all of this. But the more you get independent, the more I know it's not a matter of if you'll leave me, but when. I was like, okay, so as long as I was an overweight housewife, our marriage was good. Yep. But now that I've lost weight and I'm actually fucking contributing to the family.
Can we get some pictures to show the audience, or you don't know?
Yeah, I have one.
While you're doing that, can I just say how hilarious it is to actually have said the sentence, I cheated on you because I'm afraid of you.
I know. I cheated on you because I'm a little bit scared.
Oh, well, I have.
No, but glow up is always the reason, or it's the end product. A glow up, when a woman is either losing weight for some reason, a guy will get a little bit insecure, and why is that? And it's so crazy because they must think like, oh, their wives like trying to look sexy for other people. Well, and I wasn't entertaining other men. I wasn't doing any of that shit. You know what's really funny too? Well, you know, I got a better one than that. When my daughter was deployed to Syria, her boyfriend cheated on her. You know what he told her? I did it for your mental health. Because you couldn't handle me breaking up with you while you were deployed. So I just cheated on you. What is wrong?
For your mental health, bro. I cheated on you for your mental health.
What? All right, cheaters, listeners. And now, a word from our sponsors. We have no sponsors yet. Okay, we are looking for sponsors. We are looking for divorce lawyers, moving companies, private investigators. What else are we? All right, so with my experience and how I got cheated on, I believe I was also married for about 10 or 11 years. And again, it was a horrible, horrible experience. I was also a big girl. And this is when I started suspecting it. He was also a police officer, also ex-military. But let me actually start before we even got married. So I was a young girl. I was right out of high school. We had been dating. He had joined the military. He was, I think, maybe 2 or 3 years older than I was. He went and joined the military. We broke up amicably. Am I saying it right? Mm-hmm. Amicably. And so everything was cool. He leaves. Next thing I know, doink, I got a bun in the oven.
Oh, no.
Yes. I go to his family's house. And I'm like, hey, I'm like 6 months pregnant at this time, or because I found out kind of later. Man, maybe I was like 4 or 5. I don't remember. And they were like, well, we don't know who he is because this is in the 90s. They didn't know where he was. They didn't have addresses, nothing. He was in the military. He was in Germany. And I was just like, okay, I guess I'm just not going to find him, So I was like, okay, I guess I'm going to be a single mom.
Yeah.
I go, I'm in the hospital. The baby comes out. Next thing I know, my mother comes to me. She's like, somebody wants to talk to you. My mother found him in Germany. I don't know how she did it. So I'm on the phone with him. I'm like, hey, yeah. We got a kid. What do we do? And he's like, this is first red flag. I guess we should get married.
I guess. No.
But I'm 19 years old and I'm like, oh my God, he loves me. We are so in love.
Right.
So anyways, he comes down, we get married. He goes back to Germany. I think my son was probably about 6 or 7 months old. And I'm like, when am I going to Germany?
Yeah.
Right. He already had the apartment because I think at that time he was living in the barracks and he got the apartment. And I'm like, okay, what's happening? I was the one who had to contact the military and was like, hey, I'm married to this guy and I got a kid. Like, I'm ready to go. And they flew me over there on a airplane from Lackland Air Force Base, which is not like a commercial, not a commercial base. It's totally military. I went to Germany. I flew over the ocean, across the United States, and over the Atlantic Ocean in a freaking what do you call it, TJ? The kind of airplane, a cargo airplane. A cargo airplane.
Wow.
Like I had to take the little baby carriage, not the carriage, the car seat with me.
Yeah.
Climb up these stairs like a freaking ladder. It was horrible.
Wow.
But eventually I got to Germany. I got there and I call him up, from the base there or whatever. And he's like, I can't go get you right now. So I had to wait there. They had like a little waiting area. There was a couch. I waited for about 6 hours.
Oh my
for
God.
him to come pick me up. And then he came and picked me up in his little mail van because he was working in like the little mail room.
Yeah.
I should have known that. How many red flags did y'all already hear right there?
Right.
Just that alone. So then anyways, we're living there. Everything's fine. I go to the PX, or I forgot if it's a BX in Germany. And this lady comes up to me, this soldier, right? And she comes to me. She tells me, you know that your husband's always cheating. I had no idea. She was just a stranger.
Oh my God.
That was the first time. Oh, well, oh my God, there's so much I'm not even saying. I'm even just red flags from when we were dating and stuff, and when. Oh, so anyway, she comes up to me and I'm just like, oh, how rude. Why would she say that? You know what I mean? So time goes on. We get a nanny. Okay, we get a nanny. And so the nanny, she would work while I was at work. And then when he would come home, I got home. When he would come home, well, she was supposed to leave. Yeah. I got home early. And guess who's sitting there? And she's just like, oh. And I'm like, why is she even still here? Yeah. You know what I mean? And, dude, I saw those googly eyes, the little sexy eyes. I was like, I'm right here. Hello. You know what I mean? And then one of our friends, she was actually, it was so funny. She was, you remember Prince, right? Mm-hmm. Prince was married to a woman her name was Maite. And she was actually in Germany. She left like right before I got there. So her best friend, I just had to bring up the whole Prince thing because it's kind of cool. Her best friend was also a friend of mine.
Oh.
And she we're talking, and she says, hey, she says, I need to tell you something about your nanny. I forgot the lady's name. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, wait, actually, don't tell me. If it has anything to do with, don't tell me unless it has anything to do with like her like hurting kids or something, because she was taking care of my son. And she's like, it doesn't have anything to do with that. And I was like, well, then I don't want to know. But I freaking knew. Mm-hmm. I knew. You know what I mean? So anyways, after that, you know, there was again a whole bunch of red flags. We moved to El Paso, which was El Paso, I think, is an awesome place now, but back then it was horrible because it was just me by myself, and he was always, you know, out in the field or whatever. So I ended up leaving, and I remember calling one time, and like a woman answering the phone. My father, like he knew that he was like he wasn't a good guy for me. You know what I mean? Yeah. He just knew it, and I remember like I would skip out of school, and my dad would find out. I mean, it only happened one time. Right. But Irma Linda, go home. He would go knock on his door. Like, he needed to send my daughter home. And one time I got to his house also, and he had these nieces, and they were twins. They were so little. They must have been like maybe like 6 or 7 years old. Yeah. And I remember I remember exactly why I went to the kitchen. I went to the kitchen to go make a tuna fish sandwich. And they came up to me, and they were like, you know, Tony had a girl here right before you got here. Oh, no. They told me I literally pulled in. She ran out to the back alley and left in the car. Oh, you know what I mean? And I remember telling him, and he was like, no, Irma, no, that's such a lie. You see, the red flags were there even before. What kind of female engages in that? Like, that blows my mind. Yeah. That blows my mind. But we were teenagers. Yeah. You know what I mean? I was young. No. I'm not talking about her. Yeah, her. No. But maybe she was like a year older than me, and just might have been like, oh, it's so fun and exciting. I don't know. I guess to me, I've never been in that mindset. Yeah. Her name was. I've never had that mindset. Oh wait, I think it was. Like it's oh no, it wasn't. That was her friend. I've been this way my entire life. Guys hit on me, and I'm like, don't you have a girlfriend? Like. I've been this way my whole life. I'm telling. I'm snitching. Oh, no, back then I didn't snitch. I'm a snitcher now, though. Yeah. Snitch. Yep. Snitch. And I don't give a shit. If you get mad at me, she gets mad at me, I'm telling everybody. Mm-hmm. So, but one day she can never go, God, I wish someone would have told me. Yeah. And that's the thing, too. So, like, with the thing that happened with my husband, someone from his class made a fake account to tell me. Now, granted, they told me a couple days later after I'd already found out on my own, but I still respected the fact that they did that. See, and I had so many people tell me, and I was just, the thing is, like, he really did, like, love bomb me through my whole marriage. Mm-hmm. You're the mother of my children. I would never do that to you. Yeah. You know, what is that? Misery loves company. They're miserable in their relationship, Irma. You know, and the thing was, he was a police officer too, right? Yeah. And I remember this one time, there was this girl, her name was she had been either she was drinking and driving or something, and my ex-husband was with another police officer, and they pulled her over, and there she was. You know what I mean? And so she's drunk, and she's telling him, fuck you, you know, you like to fuck me, and this, like, she goes like all freaking crazy. So I guess he got a little paranoid. So then he gets home and he's like, oh my God, Irma, you know what happened today? There was this girl, like, and she was drinking and driving, and she said all this stuff. I don't even know where it came from. And I'm like, if he had never told me that, I would have never even suspected. Yeah. You know, I would have never even suspected anything. I know a girl that was dating a cop, and then she got a little tingly in her chicken nuggets because she wasn't, like, jealous either, but there was an incident where, like, he went to his family's for Thanksgiving, but then he was like, he didn't come home till the next day, and he was like, oh, I got tired on the drive back, blah, blah, blah. So she ended up looking in his phone. She found video of him with him videoing while he's got a girl bent over his cop car. But, and you see, and that's the thing, like, that's, now it's so easy to get caught cheating because these idiots fucking record themselves doing stuff. But we didn't have, this is in the 90s. Yeah, I know. This is in the 90s. Like, probably like 98, 99. It was really early in the 90s. You know, I had a friend of mine, she would tell me, he's cheating on you with a dispatcher. And the thing is, he kind of started acting differently.
Yeah.
And I remember I was pregnant, and I was like, oh, well, he's just going out with his friends. He's got some new friends. Oh,
Yeah.
He's just hanging out. He went. I was in Del Rio. He went to San Antonio, spent the night in San Antonio with his homeboys. Next thing I know, it's a freaking. And I was pregnant, and I was feeling suspicious, you know. And what's crazy is I really, honest to goodness, think that when I got pregnant, because neither of us were expecting that. I think he really did try to change. I really do, because this. He tried. I think I can give him that. He just couldn't control the freaking wiener. He tried, and what happened was he was like, you know what, Irma, let's go get married through the church.
Yeah.
He went. I was like, oh, that is so wonderful. Yes, we're Catholics. Let's go get married through the church. We had been married almost 10 years. Okay, we go get married through the church. 6 months later, we're freaking in divorce court. This man got me married through the church. Which means, like, we haven't, our divorce is not annulled. So I'm still married to this freaking jerk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And not legally, but in the eyes of God, you know.
Yeah.
Actually, you know, somebody just told me recently that, because my husband and I, like, we've gone to the church to see if we can get married. We have to get, like, annulled through the Catholic Church and everything, you know. And I mean, I think we asked about it maybe like 7 years ago, and it's like a whole process, you know. But somebody just told me that it's not that difficult anymore, so I think we're gonna go and do that.
And I'm not so, and I know that for some, especially for some women in some circumstances, it's easier to live in the land of denial. You know, like, and
I couldn't believe it, DeEtta. I wasn't in denial. I thought everybody else was wrong. Is it like how you thought, like how everybody in your family thought that your ex-husband was perfect? That's how everybody thought about my ex-husband. You know what I mean? Until finally, after my daughter was, she was a few months old, and I was like, no, this guy's acting a little strange. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Finally, I'm like, no, something weird's going on. And we have cell phones now at this point. But I don't have access to his phone, you know. So finally, I you know, with Sprint, I would never look at the call logs, because, you know, it was a lot of paper, you know? Right. So if you request it, they would send it to you, you know. And I'm sitting on the living room, I'm sitting on the dining room, and I'm looking at all his calls that he's making to this one number. And he comes in, and I look at him, I'm like, who is this number? I didn't have enough time to write it down. I was like, whose number is this? And he comes up to me, and he grabs it, and he runs outside in his white freaking stupid ass truck, and he leaves. And I'm like, what the fuck
might as well
going on?
confess.
So get a load of this, dude.
That's guilty all day.
Exactly. I call Sprint, and I don't only remember like maybe like 3 or 4 numbers. And this I remember she was this black lady, you know, and I was like, ma'am, I think my husband's having an affair, and these are the 3 or 4. What was the full number? Can you please give me the full number?
Yeah.
And she tells me, girl, he's calling her right now. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me, dude? He was calling her at that exact moment. Oh my God. And I'm like, oh my God, give me the number. So she gives me the number. She gives me the number, right? He comes back. He's like, no. He gives me this freaking weird ass excuse. Try to make some shit up. I'm like, I don't remember. So then anyways, I have a friend of mine who's really close to me who has a friend of hers who works with Sprint. And I give her the number, and she gets her friend to tell me who the number belongs to and where she lives. And I went to her house. And she's crying. She's like, I can't believe it. She's like so upset, and you know, I'm calm. I'm like, you know, he's married. She's like, yeah, I do. I kind of felt bad for her, dude.
Well, if you knew he was married, stop fucking crying.
She was living with her mom and her little girl, pobrecita. I remember I was in her bedroom talking to her. I was not going to do anything bad to her.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know what the hell is happening.
Right.
Are you with my husband or not?
Right.
And she admitted it. She admitted it. She cried, I was just like, fine, okay, then it is what it is, and what can I do? And the thing is, he had already fallen in love with her, and it just pissed me off because we had just gotten married to the church.
Yeah.
I had a newborn baby. What the fuck, dude?
Yeah. Yeah, people
know what I
ask.
mean?
Someone
Yeah.
asked me with my ex-husband. They're like, "Oh, did you go beat her ass?" I was like, "No, I don't fight over trash."
No, of course not. No. Well,
No.
I wouldn't necessarily call him trash. And the thing is, DeEtta, I couldn't explain it because I was angry and I did try to fight for my marriage. I really did. And because I remember telling him, get out of here. And he got an apartment and everything. And my neighbor came over. She's like, no, you got to fight for your marriage. Don't. And I tried one freaking night. I went to his apartment and I cried and I begged and everything. And I think she was there. I think she was hiding in the closet because he refused to let me go past the kitchen.
Yeah.
Which is fine, it's fine. And it was horrible. It was horrible. I hear somebody laughing over there. It's a dog probably. He's like, you stupid ass bitch. Who's a bitch now? And
Who's the bitch now?
But the thing is, like, at that moment, I was like, okay, good. It's done. He's already in love with somebody else. But it's just weird, DeEtta, because I do remember I can't explain it because I knew that I loved him, but it wasn't like the same love that I have for my husband right now.
Right.
Like, I love my husband right now.
Right.
Like, we don't have kids together. Like, we don't have a business together. I want him and he wants me.
Right.
Like, my ex-husband and I feel like we got married just because
It was
had
need.
kids. No, and get a load of this is, oh my God, I didn't even tell you this. So get a load of this. We got married. He came back from Germany. We got married. Okay, this is, again, ladies and gentlemen, in the 90s. When we're talking, no cell phones, but my mother was a nurse. My mother was a nurse, so she had one of those big ass car phones that look like freaking coffee makers.
Yeah.
That you put in the car and you plug it into the car. This motherfucker, he butt dialed me when he's with his best friend, dude, with his best friend. And of course, I'm listening.
Right.
Like, hello, I'm a woman, And his best friend asked him, why did you get married? And instead of saying, because I love her, he said, because my mom told me to.
Oh, no.
Why didn't I freaking just pay attention to it? Was thrown in my freaking face.
Yeah,
dude.
but think about it. You were a young mother.
I was young.
It's not even just that you were young, but you were young and a mother. So you were faced with either I accept reality or I can be married.
Young and a mother, but I was ready to just be a single mom. And so every now and then I get mad at my mom for finding him. It would have been nice if she said, "Oh, here he is, and he's got to pay your child support." That would have been nicer.
Yeah. Because like with my daughter's dad, he didn't cheat on he's actually the only man that never cheated on me. But he didn't cheat on me, but he did end up breaking up with me. But so I was a very young mother. And the only reason why I didn't break up with him was because I didn't want to be single with a kid. You know what I mean?
Right.
So whenever he broke up with me, I was like, all right, cool. So now he did spend the next few years trying to get back with me, but
so, and like I was saying, like I knew that I loved him, but I also kind of felt, because we were kids, like when we got together. You know what I mean? And yeah, I'm pretty sure he actually admitted it to me. He admitted it to me. He's like, Irma, you have no idea. I don't know if it was because he's a police officer and, the whole men in uniform, whatever. But he did admit to me, like, you have no idea, like, how many women have come up to me and, like, try to, that flirt with me. And I was just like, what?
yeah, so I have a story I'd like to read. So it starts, she says, well, I was in my own fairy tale marriage, together 8 years and married only a year when I found out.
Wait, hold on. They were dating for 8 years and married for a year.
So yes.
Okay.
Both working, 4 kids, lived in a nice neighborhood, not rich but stable. Never had any inclination of cheating. They had an active sex life. And And he would go out with his guy friends. She would hang out with her friends. Says we were happy, or so I thought. She says one day she got home early from work and got a knock at the door. And it's the sheriff's office. He asked for the guy. And she told him he's at work. And then he said, like, he was like, who are you? And she said, I'm his wife. And he goes, okay, you've been served. So he serves her papers. She reads the papers, thinking, what? Like, she's like, what the fuck did he do?
I
like,
know what the fuck he
did.
did.
She's thinking, like, what kind of, some kind of, who knows, right? So she reads the papers. Never in a million years would she have thought it was child support papers. It was read from the state of Louisiana on behalf of the child versus him.
So why did the sheriff give it to her?
Because they were just because she was there, I guess. Because you served, they served his wife.
What if she hadn't given it to the husband though?
I don't know. She could have fucked him, but she gave him the papers. It says I read it like 10 times before calling him because I just knew it was wrong. As soon as he answered the phone, I asked if he knew the person, the girl. And he slowly said, yes, why? And she said, because you're being served papers for child support. He got home within 5 minutes. She said, I don't remember the rest. My memory blacked it out. I remember swinging on him and him letting me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but so how old was the child?
It was a baby. Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. Yep. I remember crying a lot.
It'd be different if it was like 10 years old, because at least with my ex, it was older than my kids.
That's how she found out he was cheating on her. Was because the sheriff's office served her papers for him, for the other girl taking him to child support for their baby. I remember driving to Crystal Burger for cheese fries on the phone with my mom at the drive-thru.
Okay, ladies, if you find out your husband's cheating on you, do not start eating.
Yeah.
Get on. Just do the glow up, not the blow up, okay?
Yeah, so the person at Crystal Burger overheard her conversation and gave her a free chocolate shake, saying, honey, I'm so sorry. Yeah.
No. Give her some Ozempic.
She says,
the glow up, no blow up, honey.
So humiliating.
I know,
Yeah.
Ozempic. We need your sponsorship.
She says, I was too embarrassed to tell anyone because he was my world. I didn't tell anyone for months. A lot of the period, I don't remember which, is really bad because they also had a baby.
So let me ask you that. So like her about not saying anything, like, did you tell people like right away? Did you? Because this is during Facebook. You did yours during Facebook times. I couldn't like blast it out. Oh, but I let people know.
I didn't post anything on my Facebook. I went on his Facebook and changed.
People know now.
I went on his Facebook and I changed the because he still had a profile picture up of me and him and it said married. So I went up and changed it to the picture the selfie of him and her. Oh. And I changed it to.
Oh, because you were on his. Oh my god.
I changed it to the selfie of him and her. The caption said, "This is the slut I destroyed my family for." Wow. And I changed his marital status to divorced.
Wow.
My heart breaks more than anything. So I haven't forgiven him, and I can't. And it's not that I can't forgive him for the cheating on me. Like, whatever. Yeah. I get it. Whatever. When men can't rise to the level that you are, they find something easy. Yeah. Fine.
Yeah.
You know. Okay. She was easy.
And you said they were only together for two
less than 2 years. Mm-hmm. No pressure. Whatever.
Make sure you still looking at the camera.
But
put your pretty face at the camera, honey.
But what kills me though is the quality of life that the kids lost. Mm-hmm. Because I am a go big or go home in all aspects. Yeah. So for Easter, everybody got Easter baskets. The kids, my husband. If the kids had boyfriends or girlfriends, everybody got Easter baskets. Yeah. Halloween, we decorated. Right. The whole nine. Christmas, I went big on everything. Now the kids don't like their first Halloween without me. They were all just sitting in the house. Yeah. No costumes, no trick or treating. They didn't even have candy to hand out. Yeah. Like and then he's a cop, so he works all the time. The kids they're raising themselves now. Mm-hmm.
And I think the thing that I need to apologize to my son a lot for is he basically, I remember telling my ex-husband, like when he was leaving, I said, "You're seriously making your 10-year-old son the man of the house?" And my son, he did. He became the man of the house. He took out the trash. He helped me take care of his baby sister and went, TJ, I'm so sorry, dude. Like, and then I started dating, and so I would go out sometimes, and so he would be at home. I think maybe at that time, maybe like 13, 14 years old, and he was taking care of his little sister when he should have just been playing video games, but I was going on dates and, going out because I'm a single lady, and he shouldn't have had to, and I'm so sorry for that, but I was also in a different mindset. Yeah. And so I think there's a lot of mothers don't realize that, but then again, like, what do you do? Like, daycare is expensive. Thank you, TJ, for helping me take care of your baby sister. And that's why I've always told him, I'm going to take care of you for as long as I can. If
it wasn't for my kids, man, when I went through this divorce, like, Jade was in Syria, but she's still like, because as I told you, I walked away with nothing. My oldest son, whenever he realized what was going on, he called his unit and asked to be put on orders so that he could have money in case. So whenever I got the U-Haul, he sent me $2,000 to get the U-Haul. There was another point I needed some money. My daughter sent me $2,000. You know what I mean?
Yes,
so
your babies were taking care of you.
Yes.
Wow.
They rallied. Or even my 17-year-old, he didn't have any money. He didn't have a job, but he was an angsty teenager at the time. But whenever he realized what was going on, instead of arguing with me about everything on the face of the planet, I could just be like, "Hey, can you take out the trash?" And he'd go, "Okay." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so even in that way, just him not arguing with me about anything anymore. Like, my babies rallied in all the ways they could. This is why I say all the time, I live and breathe for my children. Yeah. They are, at the end of the day, I would burn down countries for them. Like, I don't care.
Yeah. Oh, I get it.
I don't fucking care. So, and that's what I say too. Like, so my youngest is gay, and I'm dating, and so like, I'll tell people, hey, just so you know, my youngest is gay. So if you got a problem with gay people,
but how old is he?
He's 21.
Why would they even care?
It doesn't matter, but because it doesn't.
Because there are people that
there are people that are anti-gay. So if you're anti-gay, you're anti-me.
Yeah.
Got it. So like, because there was
Me gustan los gays. I like the gays.
Yeah. There was
you're not a real Mexican lady unless you have a gay friend. Cousin Berto.
Right? Shout out Cousin Berto. There was a guy I was talking to a few years ago, and I had forgot to tell him up front that my son was gay, right? And I ended up, like, he started talking about religion. And I was like, oh, by the way, just so you know, like, my youngest son is gay. And then he was like, oh, that doesn't bother me. But then as we were talking, he kept saying things. And I was like, I feel like it does bother you. Like, I really do. And the thing is, anyone that knows me, because people have asked me like, oh, when did your family say anything? So I didn't have a coming out story with him. Like, I didn't sit everybody down and be like, oh, Jeff, I don't want to say his name. He might get mad at me. Be like, oh, so-and-so's gay. What I did was when he got a boyfriend, I just brought him to the events. And I if oh, this is so-and-so's boyfriend.
Yeah, that's it.
Like,
there's no... You don't have to explain anything.
I did it exactly like as if he was a girlfriend.
Exactly. Good.
Right. That's exactly how I did it. And then like some people afterwards, like I remember my dad, like afterwards he was like,
he's a little bit gay.
No, my dad came up to me and he was like, did you say? And he goes, and I don't care, but did you say that was Jeffrey's boyfriend? I was like, yes, I did.
It's kind of like when we were kids. He's my friend and he's a boy.
So
he's my boyfriend.
So people will ask me and they're like, oh, did your family ever? I was like, I don't know if my family had a problem with it, but what I do know is if they did, they never fucking said it to my face.
Good. That means they didn't have a problem. They might have been a little bit shocked, you know what I mean? Or there might have been a little bit of conversation. But I think once you come out, it's like, who cares?
Well, but also, too, everyone that knows me knows that my world revolves around my kids. So if you got a problem with my kids, you got a fucking problem with me. So, and I will cut you off so fast your head spins.
So that guy that you were dating, he was just
Yeah, and I was like, you know what? Like he wasn't like, he kept trying to reassure me, but I was like, bro, I don't feel like this is gonna work. I just
So like, what was he like?
I can't remember now, Irma. It was like 3 years ago.
Some people just have a rancid vibe on them.
Yeah,
Like it was just, I can't remember now, but it was just kind of like the undertone in certain things he would say. You know what I mean? That made me feel like, you say you're not a homophobe, but I'm getting a homophobe vibe from you.
Just the fact that they even have to like talk about it.
Right. Like why?
Just let it go. Just live. We're all living.
Yeah, because
That's it. You know.
Because don't think for 2 seconds, I won't end you and smile in the mugshot behind my kids. Like,
oh, exactly. For the babies.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
For my kids, yeah, I will do horrible things.
So I know, right?
Terrible things.
So at this point, I think we do agree, because my next question was, out of all professions, which professions do you think cheat the most?
Oh.
And I think we already kind of agree, the police officers. Police officers. Take me home, I'm drunk. Just kidding.
Cops are a big red flag.
Yeah. And
military.
But
huge
not
red flag.
not only the people who are in the military, but their spouses that they leave behind. Like, you know,
yes.
Because I'll never forget, like when my ex-husband would he would go
Dependopotamuses.
and I would be, what are they called?
Dependopotamuses.
Dependopotamuses.
Yep. Dependopotamuses.
I remember there was this one lady in the apartment complex next to us, and I thought she looked like a young Hillary Clinton. She had like the poofy hair, you know, looked like she was wearing a little helmet and stuff. She had these cute little kids and everything, and like her husband was out in the field, and there was this guy that would come pick her and her kids up. I'd be like,
that's wild.
And you could see they were like holding hands. I'm like, man. And then like my neighbor upstairs, like her husband would be gone, but I could hear,
yeah.
I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
I couldn't believe, I could not even, like, I was not, and then my ex was cheating on me all the time.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe these women. I should have fucking done the same thing.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good note to make that a lot of men aren't shit, but a lot of women aren't shit either.
Yes, exactly.
So
there's a lot of women out here that are doing their
they're doing
they're cheating as
honestly,
well.
that's part of the reason why it's so hard to date at the age I'm at, because a lot of these men have been fucked over by ain't shit women.
Yeah. You're right. You're absolutely right. And like women, like back in the 80s and 90s, like you would date a guy, and even if like you weren't that into him yet, like you were like, well, I just want to see if I like to know him. Mm-hmm. He was the only guy you were dating at the time. And then if you decided that you didn't like him, that you're like, okay, we're not dating anymore. And then you opened yourself up to like maybe seeing somebody else. Now girls, they have rosters. Mm-hmm. They'll have somebody taking them out for breakfast, lunch, dinner. And now these guys are like, why do I want to take you out? I'm taking you out. Now you got all these motherfuckers taking you out too. Probably fucking you as well.
Well,
you know,
I don't know. So I know, right? I will say I am typically an advocate of I'm single until I'm not.
Right.
Like, so as we discussed earlier, I fucked up last year.
But as soon as you have a discussion with somebody and you say, okay, it's just where what is it? It's just you and me. Well, what is exclusive? We're exclusive.
Well, I mean, we did have the discussion. We're not sleeping with other people, but we never put the title on it.
Right.
So,
but just that alone.
I mean,
but that being said, still single. You know.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Like, so in all reality, I shouldn't have been investing in that.
Yes.
I should have been out.
And that's another podcast.
Yeah.
Or do you want to bring it?
No. We're moving on.
All right. And you said you have one more story. Tell us what that is. I want to know.
So you know how you keep, and it made me think of it because you keep talking about, your stories in the 90s, right? And with today's technology, people do the dumbest shit. So I know someone who, how she found out that her man was cheating was he let the side chick connect to the Bluetooth in his car. And then she drove the car and was looking through the list to connect her phone. And
she saw.
And
Who
she
the hell is this?
saw the name.
Wow.
And
the
then
wife
she
did. The
she
wife saw.
and then she questioned him about it. He lied, but then she went through his phone later, and again, video evidence.
And why are these girls even letting these guys take video of them?
Right, but and also, why are
Don't
you
they
taking
know? 'Cause
video
they-
while you're cheating? Like,
I know, and that's what I mean. 'Cause if I was a guy and I was taking video, Pornhub, I would totally be making money off that shit. I don't give a
it's wild. That's why, like, so I just like, so I am not a cheater, and thank God I'm not, because I would never get caught. First of all, you're not connecting to my Bluetooth.
Wait, you're not a cheater because you're a good cheater and you would never
No.
get caught, or you're not a cheater because
I'm not a cheater because I'm against it, but I would be a good cheater because I'm fucking smart.
right. I hear you. Good,
But
because we're good women.
Yeah, no, I am 1000% against cheating. I will leave you. Like, I even told my husband, I was like, if you ever feel like you're in a position to cheat on me, you call me and break up with me first.
Yeah.
Like, before your dick enters,
I just that just
you call me
the
and break up with me
whole
first.
emotional relationship thing that
Yeah.
blows my mind. I don't know why guys do that. So any of y'all listening out there today, the whole reason of this podcast, like I said, is to have women and men come over here and talk to us about, experiences that they had, being cheated on, and so that we can kind of like educate you guys so y'all can see the red flags, pink flags, red flags, burning hot Cheeto flags. That's what we want for you guys. So everybody, thank you so much for watching our show today, and we'll see you again pretty soon.
Bye.
Pressed against the dawn. Sentimental beggar, elevating desecration. Throwing stones, I stood before the burning lawn.